Alright, this is What If Deku Was the Son of Jotaro Part 2. If you like this video, like, subscribe. I ended off last time with Ida bumping into Izuku, I think, and he looks up at him, and Izuku just says something. So, wait, hold on, I'll be back. So, Izuku looks down at Ida, because he's taller than him, and Ida's just looking up at him, since he's really muscular. He had a scared and also confused face as well, because Izuku was like towering over him, and he just appeared in front of him, so he was confused because he was behind him. And Izuku says, "You think that's the way to be a hero?" And Ida is just like, "What do you mean?" And Izuku says, "You know what you mean. You pulled something, didn't you?" I think I told you in the last part. If I didn't, then Ida ran, and it made a dust cloud over most of the participants. And so Izuku is saying that's not what a true hero should do. And Ida is just playing it off, saying, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And Izuku says, "You can't worm your way out of this one." And then Ida just like thinks in his head, "Oh shit," and he just starts running away. So he's getting some villain points, and Izuku he wants to have some payback, so he appears in front of Ida, and it makes an equally large dust cloud in front of Ida, and he starts coughing up. And Ida is just thinking, "What was that for?" And Izuku asks, "What was that for?" And Ida is just realizing what he did, and he just shut up after that. So the entrance exam goes on. Izuku is getting a lot of villain points, more than Bakugo, a tiny bit more than Bakugo, but he's just not trying, and all the teachers see that he's not actually trying, and that his quirk is quite interesting and weird, and they don't know what his quirk exactly is. All he put down was Star World and spiritual, and the description is spiritual manifestation. So they don't know what he can do with it, and or the teachers see that he's not trying. And Bakugo's not in the same one. I think I already said that. Some of the participants are looking at him and are confused because he's not even sweating. He's just walking around, walking around the fake city, and he's getting villain points from Star World. Or the platinum. Nah. So he's getting points from Star World, and they're all confused because he's just walking around casually. And then the 0 pointer comes in, and all the teachers are like, "Maybe he can actually break a sweat now." And they're just focusing the camera on him, and Izuku is just walking casually, towards the 0-pointer, and then he hears a scream and an ouch, and Izuku just looks over, sees Uraraka in the camera room. They're just watching Izuku disappear. In his vision, he activates Star World's abilities and the world, and he stops time, and and he destroys the robot with like a single punch, and all the teachers behind the desk are like, wait, where'd he go? Then let's say Midnight looks on one of the screens and says, look, the 0-pointer's like half of the 0-pointer has disappeared, and they're all confused. They're like, what the heck happened to it? Then they were like, is he just that fast? Get the camera feed. They pull the camera feed up, and let's just say it's 5 million times it's slowed down, and they watch it, and they see that he just disappears instantly, and they're really confused because they thought that his quirk was spiritual manifestation, whatever that meant, or is called Star World, and its description is spiritual manifestation, unless his spiritual manifestation has different abilities to it, and they're really confused. I'm gonna say it's I'll save it for a later time. So Izuku he's just destroyed 0-pointer, and all the students are wondering, where did he disappear to, and why is the 0-pointer like half gone? And Izuku just appears where he was before, and they're confused because they don't know where he went. And after he disappeared, the 0-pointer was absolutely destroyed. And let's just say that when he disappeared, he also grabbed Uraraka and brought her to Recovery Girl, and then he brought her next to Recovery Girl, started time again, gave Uraraka to Recovery Girl, said heal her up, and then used the Star World's time stop ability to get back to where he was before, and that's why he disappeared. Yeah. So, hold on, I'll be back in a second. This is so damn annoying. Okay, I'm back. So, the 2 weeks pass and gets his acceptance letter, and it's All Might, and he says, congratulations, Izuku Midoriya, you came first place in the entrance, you came, let's say, second place in the theory exam, because frickin' he can think of anything in a situation where he's about to die and just absolutely demolish someone. And he came first in the practical exam. So Izuku is Izuku walks in to class the next day. Well, no, it would be like a couple of days from then, since they need to know if they got in before they buy uniforms. So it's been a couple of days. He walks into class, and as soon as he walks to the door, he's like, and he sees that it's really tall, and he's like, understandable. And he opens the door, everyone's looking at him. The people who weren't in his test were like, who the heck is this person? He's huge, like really tall and muscular. And some of the girls start fangirling over him, and fantasizing. Simping. So they start simping for him, and Izuku just pays no mind to it, just like Jotaro. And all the boys are like, who is this person? What place did he come in the entrance exam? And they after Bakugo sees him, he's like, God damn it! Of course he got here. He's like, God damn it! Of course he got in. Yeah. So Zuko. Sorry, I'm trying to think of things. Zuko, he walks in, sits down, and Aizawa comes in and says, "You all need to be quiet. It's been 8 seconds. Well, it took you 8 seconds to be. It took all of you 8 seconds to be quiet. That's not good enough if you want to be a hero." Then everyone's like, "Who are you?" "I'm Shota Aizawa, your homeroom teacher." And everyone's like, "Your teacher?" And Aizawa says, "Yes. Now put these on and get to training ground. I think it's training ground beta. Or is it testing ground beta? Yeah, something like that." And Ochako is just saying, before Aizawa says that he says took you all 8 seconds, Ochako sees him. It's like, "Oh, it's you. You're the one who saved me." And they all look at him and they're thinking, so he's the one who saved her? And Zuko says, "Yeah." And she says, "Oh, I'm Ochako Uraka." And Zuko says, "Okay." And they're like, "He's quite rude." So they go to the testing ground beta, and Aizawa passes the ball to Zuko and says, "You came first in the entrance exam. What's your highest softball throw in middle school?" And everyone's saying, "Oh, so he's the one with the highest score in the entrance exam." And since Zuko's quite muscular, he just says 117 meters, I think. And they're like, 117 meters. That's quite far. And so Aizawa says, "Understandable. How about you throw it again, but this time you use your quirk." So Zuko's like, "Okay." So he grabs the ball, and everyone's like, "I need to see what his quirk is." He came first in the entrance exam. I didn't know what happened. So what Zuko does is, when Aizawa says throw, Zuko says, "The Waruda!" And time stops. Some people have confused faces. Some people are like, "What?" Have like faces like, "What does that mean?" And so Aizawa is, let's just say he's about to turn on his quirk, but time stops, so he can't. Zuko throws the ball as hard as he can and resumes time, and they see the ball go infinity, because if you move something in time, or in stop time, that thing moves infinitely as fast over the universe. And however, so instead of it saying infinity, it's like counting up, and it says infinity, and then the machine breaks, or the phone in his hand just like starts sizzling and then lights on fire. And as it's about to get like turn off forever, it says error, and gets destroyed. And everyone's like, "What was that?" And Izuku says, "Star World." And everyone's like, "What's Star World? Is that your quirk?" And they're all confused. They're like, what is this kid? Who is, what, how do you just do that?" And Izuku, or Aizawa was just like, "This kid, he's something else. He's stronger. He's so strong, he might as well be stronger than All Might." And he's really confused. He's like, if he's this strong, what about his father? Is his father also this strong? Is he just not using his full strength? So he doesn't. Does he like not want to be number one hero? And he's thinking about this, and then he's like, he might be as strong as him, or maybe it's just his quirk has evolved and gotten stronger, and it's just he's stronger than All Might by his own power and not by his father's, and then he starts doubting himself, and he's wondering, wait, no, what if his father is stronger than All Might, and he just doesn't want to be the number one hero, because he acts sort of like, because Izuku and Jotaro have the same personalities as each other, so Jotaro doesn't really give a damn about anything, because he felt Izuku had that kind of, had that kind of personality. So he was thinking, well, if he could take the number one spot, why, there must be a reason that he's not, or he's just that stubborn, because anyone would not want to have that number one spot. And then he remembers Izuku not giving a damn about his simps, and then he's like, the simps, god damn it. And then he's just thinking in his head, and Izuku knows what he's thinking because he's quite smart, and he starts kind of laughing a bit, and as I was like, he knows what I'm thinking, isn't he? And let's say Izuku is really good at reading body language, and he's like, yeah, I do know, well, yes, I do. And as I was like, takes a deep breath in and then sighs, and he's like, all right, next person. He says, all right, 100 meter, is it 100 meters? Yeah, all right, 100 meter dash. And everyone's like, the 100 meter dash, we're doing that next. And I was just like, that dense. So everything goes the same except Zuku, 100 meter dash, 0.000 error seconds. And then same thing happens again. The long distance run, let's just say he can run for a very, very, very long time. And Izuku just comes first, beats Momo, Todoroki, and Bakugo. He beats all of them, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of dumb how she always comes first. Like, that's not even possible. Anyway, so Izuku comes first. I don't like the heroes versus villains, so I'm just gonna skip over it. Say, same teams, Izuku absolutely destroys them. Next is the USJ attack. So they're all asking each other on the bus, or talking to each other about what their quirks are, and so you just ask, hey Izuku, what's your quirk? We've seen this sort of yellowy purple figure around you sometimes, and we want to know what your quirk is, because it's really powerful, and might even be as strong as All Might's. And Izuku says, I don't really want to explain it. It's kind of it takes too much energy. And they're like, okay, can you at least give us a quick explanation? And Izuku says, fine. And then he starts saying, then he says that his quirk is called Star World, and it's basically a spiritual manifestation of him, yeah, it's the spiritual manifestation of him, and he explains that with it he can stop time. And as soon as he says that, they're all like, he can what? You can what now? And Azuki says that I stutter, I can stop time. And they're all quite shocked. And Azuki says, I can only do it for 10 seconds at the moment now. Well, yeah, because he's been training and he can do it up to 10 seconds. So he says, I can do it up to about 10 seconds now. And Suyu is saying, that's really strong. What's like, what's it, does it have any other abilities? And Azuka says, yeah. And Suyu's like, what can it do? And Azuka says, I can, it's like, one of its punches is about 100 times All Might's prime strength. And they were like, no, that's not possible. He can't do that. And Azuka says, yeah, I can. And they're all thinking this when they're like, no, he can't do that. And Azuka just saying, yeah, I can. They're thinking, can he also read minds? And Azuka says, yes, I can also, no, I'm just reading your body language. And, they're all confused. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And Isaiah says, shut up, all of you be quiet, we're at the USJ. So they go into the USJ, and they see, Prohera 13, and she says to Aizawa the same thing, but no one hears except for Izuku, because he can read body language, he's not that dumb. And Izuku's thinking, oh, so All Might has a time limit, does he? And, Izuku's thinking this, and then the black portal comes in. It's Kirigiri again. I'm gonna make this shorter part since I can't be bothered to do it that long today. So Izuku says, Izuku sees the villains, and he's like, Aizawa, and Aizawa turns to him, he's like, what? And Izuku says, there are villains down there. And Aizawa just turns almost instantly, sees the villains, activates his quirk, and jumps down there. But before he can even jump, while he's in midair, before he can even land, all the villains are knocked out. And Aizawa's like, what the heck happened? And Izuku says, yeah, I may have, Izuku's like next to him, and he says, yeah, I may have lied. I can stop time for about 45 seconds. And, no one in the class hears this, because they're in midair. And as I was just like, what? You can, and as I was about to say, you can do it for 45 seconds? He says, Aizawa says, you can do it for, and Izuku says, shh, with his hand over Aizawa's mouth, and the other one, making a shush motion over his lips, and, Aizawa just gets the hint, he's like, alright, and so they land, then they see Shigaraki and Kurogiri still there, and Shigaraki's like, how the hell did you do this? And Izuku says, it's quite easy, honestly. And so Shigaraki says, Kurogiri, get the Nomu. And the Nomu comes out, steps out, and is like, Nomu, kill him. You'll kill those two. And Nomu, since he's quite fast, he jumps about to hit Izuku, but Izuku saw the whole thing, because Star Platinum sharpened senses, so he sees, or his sharpened eyes, and he sees the Nomu's like every single step, and he's about to hit him, and then the Nomu just stops, and Shigaraki's confused, and the Nomu just falls backwards. The Nomu's just standing in place with his fist in the air, about to hit him, and Izuku just pushes the Nomu, and it falls backwards, and it reveals that his brain's gone, and Shigaraki's like, "What did you do with the Nomu's brain?" And Izuku says, "Look behind you," and he looks behind it, and he sees Kurogiri with the brain on top of his head. Or no, the brain in his hand. So Izuku, Shigaraki sees Kurogiri with the brain in its hand, and Kurogiri just immediately drops it. And Izuku just says, "I guess your whoop buddy didn't like your plan at all." And Shigaraki says, "Kurogiri, you bastard!" And Kurogiri's like, "No, I didn't do this. This wasn't me. It was him." And Shigaraki, he's just about to touch him, but All Might bursts through the door, and Shigaraki just turns to Kurogiri and says, you have some explaining to do, but for now, get us out of here." And Kurogiri's like, "Fine," and he creates a portal, takes both of them out of there, and they go back to All For One. So, almost says, "I am," and he looks around, he's like, "Late." And Izuku says, "Yeah, you are." Or should I? Yeah. So Izuku just goes up to All Might, and he's like, yeah, you're late. I already took care of the villains." And All Might shocked. He's like, "How'd you do that?" And he's like, "With my quirk, how else would I?" And All Might's just like, wow. He's quite overconfident. And Izuku, since, well, body language, he's like, "I'm not that overconfident. I just, yeah, I'm not overconfident. I just told you the truth." And almost like, "How did you do that?" Izuku's like, "Ask Aizawa, I have no time to explain." And he just walks out of the USJ, and All Might sees an Nomu on the floor, and let's just say All For One contacted All Might with like a throwaway phone and says, we have a monster. His name is Nomu. He can kill you." And the user is All169 at 420.com. I don't know. It's awful. It has All For One in it, and All Might sees this, and he knows that All For One has something that is quite strong. So he when he gets in USJ, he sees a monster lying on the ground without a brain, and almost like, is that the Nomu? And he runs up, he just appears next to the Nomu, like, runs next to it and looks at it, inspects it, and he says, "I see, All For One said it was a bird, it was a brainless monster that looked like a bird. It had a brain, and it had its brain showing." And God, I feel quite lightheaded. Maybe I shouldn't walk around for a while. So he looks at him, and he realizes that it's the All For One users or the One For All users are reacting to it. And All Might, let's say he can contact them. He goes into a sort of mindscape, but it's just like the All For One center of the All For One core. And so he goes into the All For One core, one for all core, and he sees all the one for all users, and he asking why are you reacting to it, and they say this one's like us, it has multiple quirks, and when he hears this, he's like, okay, so it was definitely all for one. So he now knows that someone beat a monster that was supposed to be able to defeat and maybe kill All Might. And so he gets out of the core of One For All and talks to Aizawa and is like, who did that to this monster? And Aizawa says, Izuku Midoriya. And almost like, he did this? How? Aizawa says, with his ability to stop time, and All Might, when he hears this, he's like, so his quirk isn't mind reading? And Aizawa says, no, I was thinking that too, but he can just read body language quite well. And All Might is just sort of like, oh, okay. And then All Might's just jaw drops, as the realization hits him that someone can stop time. And he's like, wait, he can stop time? And Aizawa says, yes, he can stop time for approximately 45 seconds this time, when he's in this state. And now in our state, it's basically like teleporting, but on steroids. And almost like, okay, can you keep tabs on him? There's something I want to, well, ask him sometime. And Aizawa's like, let's just say that he knows about One For All. He's like, All Might, I don't think he will. And almost like, what do you mean? Aizawa says, he's probably not going to take it. You know, he doesn't really want to even be here because his dad made him want to be a hero, or his dad told him about being a hero. I'll explain in another part. I'm getting a bit sick, so I'll end this video here. If you like it, like, subscribe, and I'll see you later.